Okay. Story number 5. Okay. So, this past summer, this is the most recent experience. And it was during the summer, and COVID was in full swing. And because of that, all our teaching programs were, kind of put on pause. And I was approached to that for a short time, disadvantaged people might be able to, stay at the campus because we were setting up a new sleeping shelter in town, and it wasn't quite finished. And I agreed. And so then there was some people that work with disadvantaged people that came to the campus, and I got to meet some of these ladies. And one of the ladies, I won't give her name because she needs to tell her story. I want to respect her privacy. But I just really met her, and we had a really, really heart-to-heart conversation. We really felt very similar about spiritual principles and how much we needed healing and things. And so then the next time she came, maybe a week or so later after we had first met, I was walking by, and she had her ceremony bag. And she looked at me and she said, Spirit prompted me today to bring my ceremony bag. And she said, I thought maybe it was because one of the people here were longing for ceremony. But she looked at me and she said, but I actually think it's you I'm supposed to smudge. And I went, oh. Now, I've never been smudged before. I am not familiar with it. I don't even think I've seen it done. It was just a completely new, I had heard of it. I knew I've heard of it, okay? And because, I'm on this new journey of trust, and so I said, okay. And she had gone around the property and had found the spot herself where she wanted to smudge me. And she said, okay, come with me. There's a spot over here. I want to go. And so I followed her, and I had my work garden clothes on. And so she had to tell me everything, and I was prompted, I felt, to take my shoes off. So I did. So I was standing barefoot, and there was nobody watching. This was not a performance. This was just her and me alone. And then she had this beautiful shell, and she put this beautiful green type of plant in it that was dry, and she lit it, and it had this really pleasant smell. And she had this beautiful, these feathers. I think it was a wing, an eagle's wing maybe, or some feathers like that. And she told me to, to stand front, and then I would turn to the 4 directions. And I closed my eyes, and she started to pray over me. And I was listening, and she was just saying the most kind, beautiful, loving things. She was thanking Creator. She was thanking Creator for everything, for life, for her family. Like, she was just everything she could be grateful for, that she appreciated, that she loved. She just kept thanking, and then she started to thank me and say these beautiful, kind things. And then she had me turn. And I did. And I just kept surrendering. I just kept saying, I accept. I accept. I accept. Even if I don't understand, I accept. And then when I got back to the front, I had my eyes closed still. And I was listening to her and smelling. It was a beautiful day. I began to have an experience. And again, I've already shared this story with a group of people, women, at another event, and a few other people. So what happened is a tingling, a very distinct, unique quite intense tingling, sort of similar to when your arm falls asleep at night, like very recognizable tingle, began at my feet and began to come up, 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 up my legs, and came right to my spiritual heart center, like a line, and stopped. And my eyes are closed and I'm observing. And then I thought, oh, is this supposed to do that? You know, my analytical mind started to judge it like it should go all the way up. And then I just surrendered. I went, no, no, no. I'm receiving here. I know nothing about this. I trust. I accept. Okay? And when I did that, and you said, I trust and accept what is the way it is. And I allow. And then when I did that, a different energy began to, it was like an energy from above, and it was expansive and created this light feeling, and a vision I began to see, and I always, for the record, see everything always on the right side. And so I began to see this light feather, and it was going like this, floating down, and she's, you know, with the smoke and the feather, and she's saying these beautiful, kind, loving things. And as it touched my head, the sensation literally caused my body perception to feel like it was expanding and becoming light. As it cast, and it kept going down, and as it went down, and it went and exactly touched where the other ascending energy had risen to in my heart center. And it was so expansive and light, I didn't realize, but my arms had actually floated up beside me. Okay, without me doing it, they just floated up. And then I started getting flashes similar to what happened when I touched the rock, but not that many. And they all had deep meaning for me. Every picture, everything was in pure black and white polarity. And I have a lot of my personal other stuff is what I've thought a lot about. Like just like you know those costumes where people are a clown and they're black and white and they're mimes, and that it was a lot. It was just that. And so then she was done, and I was like, wow. And immediately I told her like the experience and how I had seen all this imagery of black and white pictures and stuff, and the other experience. And she said, she said some very wise, loving words to me on what she perceived had happened, and I thanked her very much, and we closed. And then of course, like my other experiences, with the eagle, this was like a whole nother level, because now I physically felt the experience. It wasn't just an experience I observed. I physically felt the experience, and then the things I saw. So I had another prayer very similar, and I prayed again to Creator, and I said, that was wow. I talked about it all. And I said, okay, I have a sacred place in the forest that you can only get to by walking. It's a special place that I have set aside as the place where I go, and I allow myself to believe that even though I might not be able to see and hear, what is, the next dimension, I guess you could say, or plane, where I'm certain intelligence exists, loving intelligence, where I allow myself to believe that even though I might not be able to see them and I might not be able to hear them, that they can hear me and they can see me, and I will go there and allow myself to be in that state of pure trust, believing that there is a connection of communication. And so I prayed, and I asked, I said, please I'm going to go to my sacred place tomorrow. And I would like to ask for confirmation from you that this experience I had was again absolutely genuine and connected to everything that's been happening to me. That it's connected, like the Eagle event, because it was really powerful and important. And so I did the next day. In the afternoon, I think it was, after chores, I walked into the bush. It's at least a 20-minute walk, might be a little bit longer. It's quite deep into the forest. And I got to my special place. And I sat, there's this big silver log. And I sat down. It was a nice day. And then I looked down. And on the log, exactly beside where I sat, there was a pile, a fresh, fluffy pile of black and white bird feathers. Right where I sat. Now what's important is, because it's a farm school, we have chickens and different kinds of chickens and animals and sheep and goats and cows and anyways, we have a Facebook page. You can look at the pictures if you want, if you're curious. But right where she had chosen to perform the ceremony, behind her we had a little protective pen that had some young heritage chickens that are these black and white feathered little birds. And they were right behind her. So they were in that place where she smudged me and prayed over me with her kindness and her love. And one of those chickens jumped out in the afternoon feeding and got away. And a lynx, during the night, caught that chicken. It's a 260-acre property that's primarily boreal wilderness. And that lynx brought it exactly to my sacred place and ate the bird and left the pile of feathers. And guess what that place lined up with? Again, one of the monolithic lines. I did not tell her. I did not choose the place. I did not know the ruins existed yet. So I hope everyone understands. This is next level. This is next level. And this sacred, beautiful, spiritual connection that, according to the legends, the giant led them here and gave them this sacred land and marked out the boundaries. The entire area is the Dene people's lands. There is no power. There is no power, no authority on earth that has a greater claim to this sacred place. God has given this to the Dene people, to no one else. No one. We cannot fight against the Dene people. We must honor them. We must support them. We must help them. They are loved. They are loved. They are loved. Oh. And trust you me, there is a righteous indignation in my soul now, because I know what has been done to this land and to these people. And there is a great accounting that God is going to be delivering. Let God be the judge. God knows. God knows. We do not have to worry. We just need to do our part. We need to be true to the purest part of what is good that we can carry in our soul, and allow that to grow and believe and know what we can connect through the earth, through creation, just like the Dene people teach, that the Spirit, the Great Spirit, is in all things. This is the wisdom of the First Nations people. It's true. It's true, because it's through the Great Spirit, that spiritual energy, that communicated somehow and guided that Lynx to do that exact thing, to give me the confirmation that my soul asked. And not because I just really have been wanting to grow, because I have been so alone. I have been so alone. I've been so alone with this. And I know I'm not alone anymore. I know it's just a little bit of time. I know I'm just hanging on. But thank you for everyone out there that's watching this, that loves what is good and just and right, and loves God and loves creation, and it's been trying so hard. I know there's lots of us. I know there is. And it'll just take a little bit of time for this wonderful news to reach everybody. And to Dene people, I just want you to know how much I am here for you. And all my stories are for you. I feel really blessed by God to be able to give you these stories. And I hope that you can take them into your soul and allow them to give you strength to reconnect through your heart with your Creator, and know He loves you, and know He is going to help you. He is helping you now. And there's so much more that we need to talk about, but I just can't tell any more stories today. That's number 5. I love you all. Thank you for listening. And may the Creator bless us all during this difficult time, this dark time. The darkness, we've been through it. The light. It just makes me think of that promise from Jesus, a bright morning star. I had no idea. Okay, I better go.